Hey, friends. I'm your host, Dr. Elizabeth Ssemanda, the intuitive psychiatrist, and you're listening to Stepping into Soul Power. So many of us, we're on this spiritual path. We're hoping for clarity. We're hoping for peace. We're hoping for alignment. And sometimes we're met with some physical symptoms, emotional turmoil. And it's almost as if there's something within ourselves that's asking to be heard. We may have symptoms that are trying to say something. And what if they're an invitation to dig deeper, to look for some truth within ourselves? Our next guest she's phenomenal, a medical intuitive, light alchemist. She has guided many people internationally in transformational healing. And it's all about truly understanding the wisdom within our body and finding what really our truth, our soul is trying to tell us. Jade Yin Hom, medical intuitive, like alchemist. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you for having me. I'm so looking forward to our talk today.
I am too. And you are probably one of the best medical intuitives that I have ever met. And I would love for you to tell us a little bit about your path. Like what got you onto this journey where you decided to become a medical intuitive and healer.
Yeah, so I feel like I was guided, but it all felt like it's also accidental. I always knew that I wanted to do something healing, something good. And then when I started doing just volunteer work in the hospital, I remembered how I started crying. And somebody told me, honey, bedside work isn't for you. So then I did administrative work and then I got depressed and depressed. And one day I decided I have to go to this webinar by a medical intuitive, Dr. Judith Orloff. So she was in Seattle doing a weekend webinar and I went and she was describing how when she's around somebody and she tunes into them, she just really feels their story and what's going on in their lives. And I'm like, that's me, only that I thought I'm too sensitive. And then that's where I started putting the pieces together and started learning energy healing, started reading about the chakras, and little by little, I was able to put that sensitivity, the intuitiveness to good use as a medical intuitive.
Wow. So many questions. So when we talk about medical intuition, there are people out there who may not may be curious. There might be a couple of skeptics. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about what you think, what your understanding of medical intuition is. Maybe we'll start there.
Yeah. So I'm always learning and things are always changing. But to me, the heart of medical intuition is deep connection with another human being that allows them to honor the truth that's needing to communicate to them through their body symptoms. Because a lot of times I find that people kind of know, but they just don't have permission to speak truthfully about what's going on. So everyone is intuitive, but we repress that. Well, we run away from it because feeling so much is just way too much. And I really get that that's happening in the collective right now because you feel into what's going on. It's heartbreaking. And so I understand how even just feeling the vicarious trauma that's happening, it impacts our body and our energy body. And as very caring people, we want to respond. And when we can't, our bodies respond. So I know people are hurting right now. Yeah.
Yes, there is a lot going on in the world, and a lot of us empaths, we're feeling it. We're feeling it. Are there things that we can do, practical things that we can do to help ourselves so that we're better able to navigate all the turmoil that's going on around us?
Yeah, definitely. I would say have some space to yourself and some space with nature that allows nature to really fine tune your energy field and help you remember who you are. So anything that you can do to really allow spirit to remind you of who you are and your essence. and your essence is always love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. As you've gone on your path, can you I guess we'd love to hear a little bit more about you. What has medical intuition taught you about yourself? How has it evolved your journey?
Yeah, medical intuition saved my life actually because it gave me a way to connect with my own truth that allows me to live on purpose and be um, of help to other people, be kind of like a vessel or a space holder for other people to feel safe. And I think there's a psychologist named Donald, oh, I forgot his name. He talked about how babies need a safe space, a holding space, so that they have the sense of safety, so that when traumas and things happen, this safe space allow them to process and heal and move on so that they're not trapped by the trauma. So I feel like medical intuition has been that safe space for me to just be and to create that sacred holding space for my being as I do the same for other people. And then they feel connected to their true power. So it's all about that deeper connection. It's not like a skill or what am I doing? Am I skillful, not skillful? That's the talk of like the ego. But when you're just allowing who you be on a soulful level, and that's being in a space of love, being in such a sacred holding space that everything around you responds back with love. That's what everybody's looking for. And that's what medical intuition has been for me, that sacred holding space to just be. I can be of service to people in a way that brings me more life, brings me alive. It's the human connection that brings about aliveness in each other.
Wow.
That's why I love what I do because
I can
yeah.
tell, and it's so lovely to see someone in their essence doing what they do with passion.
Thank you. I feel so blessed that I'm able to do this now. I feel so, so, so blessed. And I know there's many of you listening to this right now wondering if you have the gift or what your gifts are. Because so many of you who are tuning in are so empathic, intuitive, and so gifted. But you went through life doubting yourself because this reality really doesn't mirror back to us what's right about us. It's always about what's wrong with us. Like, what's wrong with you that you're so sensitive? What's wrong with you that you're still like a baby crying all over the place and can't hold it together? What is wrong with you that you can just blah blah blah? So it's always we are noticed for wrongness, and so then we cut ourselves off, our voice, and then we internalize, sadly, the wrong voices in our head, and then we construct a reality that limits who we are. So the vision we hold of our lives becomes so limited by all that. So those of you who are listening, who are wondering if you could be doing what I'm doing, I'm just going to tell you, yes. Say yes to yourself. Yes, absolutely. You wouldn't be tuning in today. Your soul would not have guided you to this podcast if this was not something that awakens the real you. Because that's
Beautiful.
the beauty of Elizabeth's podcast. Like, I listen to your podcast, and they're so generous and holding sacred space for people to just be.
Yes, be
Yeah.
yourself, honor yourself, hear what you truly want and follow through and do it.
Yes. Yes.
What gave because I think uh, it is quite the path to go and do what you have done, what you have created. Because not only are you a medical intuitive, you're a phenomenal master of energy healing, quantum healing. You've even dabbled within psychology. I mean, I followed you for a while. You're good. Well, not just good. You're great. I wonder, as you've gone through the path that you've been on, um, what were the biggest barriers, and how did you overcome?
Say the biggest barrier was actually believing in myself because for the first few decades of my life, I internalized the wrong voices about who I am. I internalized criticism and judgment because I'm so sensitive that I let everything in. And I internalized a lot of mixed messages about who I am. So the first couple decades of my life, or maybe even 3 decades of my life, I felt like a real failure. And so learning to believe in myself and that what I do is actually helpful to people, it's a huge shift for me. It didn't happen one night. It happened slowly. Like the realization that my intuitiveness and psychicness was something I can channel into medical intuition. I mean, that was like a huge realization. But then the embodying that took some time. And I say I'm still trying in some ways and I'm still learning. I'm still doing my best to expand beyond my limits and work on letting go of any need to even believe. Because
Mm,
the moment we talk about believe in yourself, then it's saying if you have to make yourself believe it, what if it's not a belief, but it's just about being in alignment with what's true?
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Right? Because belief is more like a head thing. It privileges thought and privileges the mind. And I feel like for so much of my life, that's where I was. And I imagine that with all your training, like your MD and PhD and all that training, you must have made that same journey somehow, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm still on that journey. Moving through my own limiting beliefs, I think I spent a huge chunk of my life in this very logical, science-based realm. And I'll be honest, I was also a bit of a skeptic that I could
I
do it.
was.
And so it has taken time and a lot of courage, because within the field of medicine is a novel way of thinking. It's a different paradigm. And I truly believe it's where we need to go. And that's why I'm so excited to have people like you on, because you just bring together all these different health modalities. And what I love is what you really focused on is just the truth of the other person. Because I think within medicine we go in with there's a little bit of an agenda. Like, hey, I'm the doctor, I got the degree, but then the way you're looking at it is really looking to the other person, partnering and looking at their truth. Oh, yes.
Yes. I read this funny thing, not so funny thing, about the impact of AI because, I'm in graduate school. And somewhere there's some study that says that it's easier for AI to replace a doctor than a nurse because the diagnostic abilities that doctors are known for can now be done by AI. But the hands on healing by nurses is harder to replace. And then that makes me think about, well, medical intuition really connecting soul to soul and heart to heart. I don't think we're going to be replaced by AI anytime soon.
I believe it. And well, you are bringing up a really important point, and it's already happening within medicine that I can tell you within the field of radiology, like AI is reading scans. And so, what you're talking about, that soul to soul connection, is just like I said, this is the future, this is where we're going. This is
Yeah, and the funny thing, it's almost like we are going back in time because there was a time when very intuitive people became doctors and midwives. Like, I'm here in London, And one of the people who I feel is just such a beautiful role model for putting intuition and science together is Dr. Bach of the Bach Remedies. I mean, he just knew how to create remedies that are easy to do and not highly priced, that are helpful for all kinds of emotional disturbances. And that's such genius, right?
Absolutely.
And he was educated right here at University College London, and he should be put back on the curriculum.
It is quite a wonderful suggestion. I wonder, as you're thinking about our future, is there a particular way of collaborating that you would like to see?
Absolutely. I would like to create a new model of healthcare where in everyone's healthcare team, there should be at least 3 different people coming together to support every person so that all sides of them are being heard and understood. And so then collectively, we can bring our intelligence and our wisdom together to support a person's healing. Like, I would love for doctors, colleges, counselors, social workers, medical intuitives to come together and be that holding space for a person's healing.
Yes.
I like to
I
create, and that's what I'm going
I
into graduate school to figure out a way to make it happen. Because if I just talk now about this, and that, nobody's going to listen. So I guess you have to kind of just be in that space to be heard.
yes, yes, but I love your vision, and I think that it is absolutely something that is doable and that's something that people want, because I think the way that things are being practiced right now leaves a lot to be desired, not just for practitioners, for patients and their families.
Yeah. And I actually know quite a lot of doctors and naturopaths and chiropractors who are amazingly intuitive. And I have a wonderful biological dentist who also has training in energy healing in Switzerland. And she's incredibly knowledgeable about energy medicine and healing. So she and I had such a good talk about dental health and overall health and how that's all connected. And the thing is, at this moment, the law does not allow her to go there. So that is the only reason why I'm not shouting out her name, because I love to give her a shout out for being so on the cutting edge.
Yes.
But the system is such that those who are must cut off that aspect of themselves. So I hope that with AI in the picture, it pushes medicine to go back to honoring the intuitive in each and every one of us so that doctors get to be wholly human.
Ooh,
Because the way the program is right now, they are cut off from the body. I mean, it's like people who have been to military training, survived medical school and beyond, or people who have been very good at athletics. They know how to push themselves. Those are the people who can push themselves through medical training, it seems.
yeah.
Right? And so that means that you have a strong mind, a strong body, but you're actually cut off from the heart and soul of the being. I mean, that's how I feel a lot of people are. That's the burnout for nurses and doctors, right?
I absolutely believe and I have seen that. And so it is a call to not only change the way that training occurs, but the practice of medicine. Like really starting to connect with our heart space, remembering the soul, the spirit, and listening.
Yeah, and I feel like if we're going to be trained to be healers, no matter whether it's naturopathic medicine or Ayurvedic medicine or traditional biomedical medicine, the healer should become healthier in the process and not have to give up more of who they are, but become more humane and more human in the process of learning to be a healer.
Oh,
But that's not the case, is it? Because I love doctors and nurses. I used to work in healthcare and I so respect their outrageously amazing work ethic. And I just think all that talent and intelligence, imagine if they are allowed to bring all of themselves to the table.
Yes. Yeah, the suggestions that you're bringing up would really change things for the better. I wonder what small steps can those people at home do to help perhaps move in that direction?
I think some of the simplest steps is really take time to listen to yourself, not just be silent, but really take time to listen to what your body needs to communicate that you've been repressing, what your heart needs to communicate that you've been repressing, and what the soul of you is wanting to bring into the world that you have not yet allowed yourself to do, but that you know you could do.
What the body, what the heart, and what the soul, wants to bring into this world. Really listening to what they have to say.
Yeah.
I would like to switch gears a little bit and ask because I know that you've been through your own journey with physical conditions, and I wonder if you could speak to us about that and how your knowledge of medical intuition has evolved as you've gone through your own journey.
Yeah, I gone through several stuff in different stages. Like in the earliest part of my life, I used to be so afraid of the cold. And I lived in southern China when I was a kid, was warm. So then every winter I was terrified because I would be covered with hives when the ambient temperature drops down like 16 degrees centigrade or something like that. My body would be covered with hives. I guess that's called cold urticaria or something
Yeah.
like that, allergic to the cold, and I did not know that it's like not so many people have. And I don't know how my immune system kinda overcame that, and I think it was realizing that what I'm allergic to is cold-hearted people, cold-hearted.
Wow.
So my body was just holding on to so many traumas as well as vicarious traumas because like I said, when I was a kid, I was in southern China. I still remember the day Chairman Mao died and the whole country was in mourning and I did not know what was going on because I was a little kid and it was overwhelming. And something about what's going on in the country right now brings up the overwhelm that unsettledness, that coldness of people not being able to trust and respect one another because of what was going on in the world that create people to just be cold-hearted.
Oh,
So that was a huge thing. And then, of course, in my 20s and 30s, I had depression a lot. I have a lot of allergies. And then more recently, since during the time of COVID, I have hypothyroidism and then hyper and hypo and hyper because it was hard for me to really communicate what was going on, how terrified I was to be targeted because of COVID and speaking out
sorry.
so hard, and I was shut down, shouted down, all the divisiveness about immunization, this, and that, and
Sorry.
size, and it was just so freaking hard, and I decided to just stop getting involved. I stopped getting involved when I have so much to say, created both hyper and hypothyroidism, and I cleared that sense.
Wow.
I know a lot about really owning your voice, owning your truth, and always holding a more sacred vision for your life that will not allow other people to override your internal narrative, which is pretty hard in this world nowadays, isn't it?
Yes, you're absolutely right. It sounds like right now you've got this strength about you that's really helped you stay true to yourself, and it sounds like really find your voice. I wonder, are there practical things that our people at home could start to do on their own to move in that direction?
Yes, yes, and I find that a voice is so much more than about just the physical talking voice.
Mm,
It's also how you be in the world. Are you allowing yourself to be free, to go to places and be free and enjoy life
mm.
and be surrounded by people who have that allowance for you to be all of you. So voice goes so beyond the physical voice. It's about being all of you because the thigh voice is about giving you the energy to be you essentially. Like it's so connected to the mitochondria, which is connected to the energetics of every cell. So you got to hold a bigger vision for your life so that you have something to look forward to. And that gives your whole being the space to be because voice is the energy you broadcast also. And I realized that I don't have to be reactive and fight out there and talk about, blah, blah, Trump, blah, blah, Trump. No, I can broadcast differently. So allowing myself to give voice for me does not mean being reactive and verbal and vocal and go out there and chant this and that. It means I am going to allow myself the sacred space to be me. I don't have to react to drama, but I honor that I'm going to bring peace wherever I am. And my loudness will be the loudness of peace and compassion and love. And that's it.
I love that definition. I do. A voice. Love it. Yes. This goes way beyond what you're saying. Your essence. Oh my goodness. Shade Yin Hom.
Yeah, cause I learned it from seeing babies and puppies. Cause like, every time you see a baby and a puppy, it's like, why are we suddenly so maternal and loving and cooing? Because they are not judging. Babies and puppies don't judge us. They
Yeah.
just allow us to be. And imagine the whole world being in that space where we are just so surrounded by that loving energy. And that's what brings not more talking, not more rationalizing, not more reactiveness about how this should be changed and that should be changed and that party should come together. This like that kind of loudness is not helpful,
Yes.
right? So it's honoring how I do voice, how you do voice too, right? It's the whole energy of us.
Wow. Jade Yin Hom. I know that people gonna be looking for you. They're going to want to connect. Audience, she is like top tier, globally like expert. I mean, she's going places.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
No, I mean, I'm being honest. Like, let's be real about. There's a lot of stuff out there in the healing world, but you are like top tier, world class, and so I know that they're going to want to connect with you. How can they go about doing that?
Thank you. I have a couple websites, jbodywisdom.com. My YouTube channel, Cosmic Intelligence. I really like connecting with people there because I created that YouTube channel literally to connect with the cosmic intelligence in all of us so that we are all free to be fully human and be multidimensional human, be wholly who we are meant to be in this world.
Yes, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for your beautiful podcast. They are so beautiful. I love how you just allow everyone to step into their power. That's also such generosity of spirit that you host such sacred space for your speakers to just be who they are. I mean, that's powerful work. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. Thank you.
If you haven't heard it yet today, I appreciate you
The soul in me honors the soul in you. If you'd like to see more episodes like this, please subscribe or click here. And friends, if this spoke to you, leave a comment below. We would love to hear from you.